Can I say that all again?
No, that's fine. Okay.
Call to order?
Yep.
Roll call.
All right. Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Govind.
Present.
Commissioner Martin. Here. Chair Mishra.
Present.
Commissioner Rahman.
Present.
And we have Commissioner Jarvie absent, and then Commissioner Hefner has sent his apologies. So he's not able to attend today.
We'll proceed to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Next is the approval of agenda. First is approval. Okay, agenda for today. Everyone get a chance to read that?
I'll move to approve them. Okay.
Anyone second?
A second.
Thank you. Next is approval of the minutes. That is for the June 17th meeting.
I can move the motion to approve.
Anyone second? Thank you. Next is new business. Today we will be reviewing the basic needs grant application. And then a couple of more things, but let's start with the basic needs grant applications.
Okay. So before the commissioners start off with the review, we're going to you have on your desk the subgroup requested and the ultimate recommendation of the subgroup. We're going to now go through a PowerPoint, which you can bring it up. So this PowerPoint, go to the next slide. So today we're going to go through the basic needs application, and then towards the end, if we have time, begin discussing final recommendation. And then in August, we will not have a meeting because traditionally August commissions and council don't meet. And then on September 9th, we'll develop our final recommendation for City Council. So if we go to the next slide. So we're going to be talking about basic needs. And so here it's a long, as you see, lots of requests and lots of applications, and the total request requested was 875,399. And the subgroup is going to be going through the applications in this order. So the first one will be Friends of Youth. You can bring that up, next one. This is a new application for the Willows Youth Service Centre, an emergency shelter for young adults, wraparound services for case management, etc., and also daytime support. And I will then pass it on to you guys.
Do you want me to cover the ones that you did? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So for Friends of Youth, for this specific program, there was one Sammamish resident that was assisted and proposed for both years. So the last time that we granted them funds as well as proposed, and then they were proposing 82 shelter nights that were recorded. I can't remember if that was on the last one or this one. And 75% permanent housing success rate, but they were missing some outcomes for those that were not permanent exits. So we were proposing looks like $12,300 for that versus $313,000.
So this is because they do not have a lot of Sammamish presence, right?
Yeah, I think it was certainly that, and we didn't feel that the requested amount was kind of aligned with what they were proposing. So,
And this is a new program, so we never funded them before.
So I think we did fund yet Willows. However, and we previously did fund them, but this has been a huge increase of 1,001% in request. And they also did ask the same amount, 313,000 from all the East Side cities.
Okay.
So the commission kind of looked to see how many Sammamish residents were served.
So if we gave them 28, why are we getting down to 12 this time? Because they didn't do the numbers are not matching up from what they promised last time.
So because this is like a homelessness program, we do tend to fully fund them. So commission looked at what they had actually funded in 25, and then they decided 12,300. Bear in mind that Friends of Youth is also funded in different programs as well. So yeah, so that was the ultimate recommendation.
Just a pause, there was somebody who had made a public comment to the Human Services Commission for today. Should we do that first before we jump into this?
That's a really good point. That was a written comment. So written comment is just for you to read.
Oh,
So, and then what we'll do is that we will put that in the record as well. Yes,
okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's 12,300.
did you have any more questions, Samuel? We kind of did the math.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to figure out what it was that we're being charged per night, and then kind of try to make more of a reasonable decision about the stays per night. And so I think what we came to was they were basically proposing $347 a night for one resident to stay there. And there were no service units that were proposed for Sammamish residents for daytime drop-ins at all.
Okay.
So, and that was, yeah.
So why not zero then?
Well, I mean, that's up to the commission. I think they have funded this
I think
program
we
in the
still
past.
felt like
Yeah.
it's still an important cause, the youth center.
Okay.
And so just because they weren't able to capture the Sammamish residents, they could potentially be in the other section, because there's a outside of King County, unknown, and then other parts of King County. So the Sammamish residents could still be going there. You know, it's not in Sammamish, so as we know, there's always a transportation issue. We thought it was a worthy enough cause to fund, just not. So we kind of try to mathematically figure out what was reasonable per night for what they were proposing.
Okay. That's pretty, yeah.
And fingers crossed for a Sammamish resident.
Yeah,
That's nice for a
That's
cycle.
right. Okay, so any other questions before we move on? Okay, let's go to the next one. Next one is.
Is it okay if I and Sadhvi sit there because he has?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I can sit there.
Yeah.
We don't bring it up anyway.
Oh,
But
sit.
yes, yeah, we can just sit.
Yeah,
You guys can sit. Yeah, that's good. I'm very glad that, yeah.
And to talk to people.
No, I think this is more conversation as well. That's a good point. Next one is St. Vincent de Paul, Mary Queen of Peace. They provide financial assistance, rental assistance to Sammamish residents in rental properties. It's an all volunteer staff, and 100% of the money goes to residents. And I'll hand it over to you guys.
For this one, we did propose the full amount, so the full 40,000 that they were requesting. We did see that they assisted 239 Sammamish residents at last grant cycle. And I think that was the same proposed for this cycle. They said, and they weren't serving this particular Mary Queen of Peace, did not assist any from other King County, outside King County, or any unknown areas. The service units were 48 for rent and 25 for utility. That I believe that was per household. And they had a 95% eviction or utility shut off within 30 days. And then it's totally volunteer run, as Rita mentioned. We try to figure out the funding, and I think we figured out $547 per household. But it's difficult to figure out because the utilities plus the rent.
How much did we give them last time?
Last time we gave like 38,000, so it's like a 2,000, I believe. Yeah,
Right.
it's 2,000 more.
It's a reasonable increase in us.
Yeah, yeah.
We can give an extra pence.
Of course, absolutely. Right, so
Thank you so much.
any other questions or comments? I'm not trying to rush everyone on, but I think we've got like 44 to get through. But if I'm going too fast, please stop me, like, you know. So any other questions on St. Vincent de Paul? No. Okay, let's go to the next one. Next one's Eastside Pathways. This is a new application. They convene with education, workforce and community partners to support young folk in East King County. It was an incomplete application.
Yeah, so we propose 0
Yeah.
due to
Yeah.
the incomplete application.
Okay. Let's go to next slide. Next slide is the Sophia Way. This is for Helen's Place. They are a 24/7, 365 shelter for women experiencing homelessness. They also have access to case management and other services. And they were requesting 33,100.
So for this one, we, all three of us landed on 23,800 versus the 33,000. They listed as assisting no Sammamish residents in 2025, are proposing to increase to 5 in 2027. So they said, for service units, they would expect to assist with 300 shelter beds. And it was 0 for Sammamish before, and provide 20 hours of case management specifically. So
Got the number last year, it was 23,800. So basically, we're giving them what we gave them last.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the understanding that even though they're not serving a lot of Sammamish people, it's a big that these places exist.
Yeah.
When our residents need them.
Yeah.
So kind of, you know, and again, looking at the regional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I volunteer at Helen's Place, so I know that they're doing a good job there.
Okay. Well, next image, please. Next one's a new application, Creating Pathways. They are offering housing, rental and utility one-time financial assistance for veterans, tribal elders and seniors. And they were asking for 30,000.
okay. On that one, we proposed 0. There were 0 Sammamish residents assisted in 2025, 15 proposed for 2027. So it's a little bit of a jump for having none in 2025. There really, we didn't feel like the service units were pretty ambitious. They were proposing 15 workshops for each city, and that would be more than one workshop a month in Sammamish. Technically, I don't know how they would propose to do that. They said 90% of residents were going to remain in their homes, but there wasn't like a time frame for like how long. They were, a lot of it was requesting salary and benefits for what was very much a young organization. I think they were founded in 2025. So it's
the first time application.
Yeah.
right, yeah. So based on the service units seeming, I just don't know if it's realistic. Plus, it's not that we don't necessarily need it. You know, it'd be nice to have something that covers some of these demographics. But it just seemed very soon to request the salary and benefits after a short amount of time for everybody there. I think it was 3.
And I think there was a new program, one, they had never reached out to staff. And then also they were asking everyone for 30,000. So it was just like, it was a case of check. Yeah. All right. So 0 for that. Next one's Imagine Housing Resident Services. This is for permanent affordable rental housing in Sammamish. It's Highland Gardens in the Klahani area. They have a resident case manager. And then they also have trainings, workshops and community events. And they were asking for 28,000.
And we recommended 28,000, so to meet that, they are, I think you said, Rita, the only, right, here in Sammamish, the only.
Like low
low
income,
yeah.
like supported housing, yeah.
You know, they do require the tenants to pay a certain percentage, and the leases are for 12 months, so they won't, you know, they'd be there for about 12 months. They said 90% of residents will remain for 12 months.
So and how many Spanish residents did they?
It's all Sammamish residents, I don't have the number.
85, I think.
85.
Oh.
Yeah.
And did we fund them last time as well?
Yes, we did.
Was it similar?
It was 23,800.
Yeah.
Any other questions on Imagine Housing? All right, Rich. Next one's kindering, childcare and preschool consultation, offering free on-site services for caregivers and early learning professionals, supporting children who have experienced trauma, disability or developmental delays, and they work with childcare centres, family homes and preschools. They were requesting 26,192.
I think the three of us landed on 9,600 versus a 26. So they listed 13 Sammamish residents that were assisted in 2025, and I believe same proposed for 2027. There were 105 hours of assistance proposed. And then they said 95% of children would remain in the same childcare setting. I think we were kind of debating whether the proposed salaries and benefits were a tad high. We recognize that early quality care is critical, and that the efforts are concentrated to funding cities. So I think we were trying to calculate what would be a reasonable cost. We kind of did some rough estimates on hourly there too, because they listed their service units as hourly. Like,
Interesting.
Yeah. And also just to add on, they were asking Sammamish for much more requests than Kirkland. They had greater service units in Kirkland, and and it's kind of really, they were asking way more from us than from Kirkland, and we had a third of Kirkland's numbers. So 9,600 is what they landed on. Any more questions on this one?
Yeah, I think it's a deeper calculation you guys did of per hour rate. Because I usually, my brain works like total it up, like make it 10. But I think you guys have landed with accurate calculations, and that's why 9,600 is decided.
I think I might have been the only
Everyone,
one doing
everyone
that.
approaches it very differently.
Right.
Yeah, but it's an interesting approach, yeah.
But we did kind of calculate it ourselves a few
Yeah.
of the applications.
Yeah.
If it was clear enough on the service units, because once you have more than one service unit, is
Okay, next one is Issachar Community Services Financial Assistance, and they offer emergency financial assistance to residents in the Issachar School District. Money goes towards rents, utilities, and goes directly to landlords. They are asking for 25,000.
And we said 25,000, so we figured it was worth it. 191 Sammamish residents were assisted in 2025. And then they're increasing the proposal to 272 for this grant cycle. 60 household units were proposed for rent assistance, and 25 for overdue water and power bills. And then the timeline was a little vague on their outcomes. They just listed that 95% would avoid eviction, something similar for water shut off.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember we funding them last time as well.
Yeah.
How much was that?
23,800.
Yeah.
Which means they asked for 25,
Yeah.
but then, we gave it a 5% across the board. That's why we end up with that funny number.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
right. Do you remember? It was 4.9%.
Oh, was it?
Mary. Sorry, Commissioner Martin. Okay. Next slide, please.
And it's all volunteer. So,
So the next one is Car Food and Clothing Bank for food services, low barrier access to food, groceries to go, mobile food bank and local housing developments. They were requesting 25,000.
and we said 25,000.
Yeah.
Do I go through the reasons?
I don't.
I'm
mean,
okay.
No.
Okay. I was very
No,
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 the
no,
last
no.
one.
I know. Yeah. Okay. Next one is going to be the YMCA Greater Seattle. This is a new application. Supporting community wellness with fitness classes, personal training, youth sports, serving infants, tweens, adults, and seniors, and program conducted at the local Y. They are asking for 25,000.
20.
Or 20. I'm sorry, 20. Yes.
After the three of us discussed, we landed on 0. I think the reasoning for that was the membership fees that they're receiving in other funding sources.
They're not a non-profit per se, right?
They actually are technically. Yeah.
So why? Interesting. Okay. I've never had YMCA here apply.
This is the first time. They did apply many years ago, I think, in our first funding cycle, and that was for a mental health professional.
Okay.
But they've never applied for this type of programming before. So this is a new application.
The outcomes, I think we said were a little bit vague, and they listed 0 Sammamish residents assisted in 2025.
Because they're in Greater Seattle.
Yeah, so this is actually for, this is specific to the Sammamish YMCA. So the YMCA Greater Seattle is just like the umbrella organization, but this is for the Sammamish YMCA. Yeah. Okay, so that was 0. We want to move on to the next one. Any other questions on that?
So in these kind of applications, what would they provide to change our thinking and kind of make the commissioners confident enough to give some funding to start with the newer programs?
Well,
Did they reach out to you?
No, they did not. And I think
So that kind of kills it.
and like, well, I think one also for the commissioners, like they charge, and then they didn't expressly say in the application that they would only give to low income. It was just as vague, and I think, no, that's fine. Listen, because and I think it was just as vague, like we want this money, and then it was like, well, what are you going to do with this money? And is it like if you're only going to give to people that can't afford to attend?
That's not the case.
But they,
It might be, but they didn't.
They didn't mention it.
Yeah.
Okay. So they need to mention. Okay.
Makes sense. So next one, there's another YMCA application, Swim King County. This is for the Sammamish Y for basic swimming and water skills for children, for low income and BIPOC youth.
So they were specific about low income on this one, right?
And they were asking for 20,000.
And I should make clear that in our needs assessment, which is 9 years,
Yeah, it's
8 years old
outdated,
or
but
something,
yes,
it does talk about wanting fitness classes. We did look at that. But as far as like the swimming, the success rate for was 25%. That 25% of people that would be taking these lessons would actually be able to avoid drowning. So I didn't find that to be a very good success rate for swim lessons. If I was attending or wanted a child to attend, I'd be a little concerned if I was sending them and they weren't actually learning to swim.
Also, how many people did they propose to help in Sammamish last year, and how much are they last time, and how much are they proposing this?
This one would be, I only did the calculations for,
Like for low income and biotech kids, I just wanted to know the numbers.
Right.
If they had any last time.
so let's, because I only included it from this
So
year.
that would make it more clearer, like, okay, there is no impact anyways. Right?
So they listed in 2025 that the Sammamish residents were 6,448, and they used that same one for the projection for 2027.
low income and biopic?
No, I think they just did like all.
All.
Yes,
Because
yeah,
the number is like
yeah,
It-
yeah.
too huge to
Yeah.
be.
It's large.
To be,
Yeah, it looks like it's just groups swim,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
group swim
Okay,
lessons.
makes
is what-
sense about your
Yeah, and
recommendation now.
Also, I think YMCA makes a lot of money.
I understand.
It's-
you.
They're not in need of funds.
Yeah, but they
per
are
se.
specifically saying about like if we are helping low income and biopic kids, probably not asking them for money, and that's why we need
No.
fundings.
Yeah, no,
So I just
agree.
wanted to know the impact numbers, that's all.
Yeah.
I think that their reasoning was different from mine. Mine was just at
Success rate.
25%.
Mhm.
If I had a child, I wouldn't want them to take this class,
Mm.
whether it's free or not. If they're going to still drown.
Makes sense.
And I think also
Good
like
point.
the application really talked about it seemed to really be focused more on Seattle YMCA because they were talking about Mother Africa and Highline schools for referrals, and so they didn't really have anything kind of
Sammamish.
relevant to Sammamish. Yeah.
Also, did
yeah.
they reach out to you?
No, they did
Okay,
not.
so
Yeah.
many things.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Next one.
Next one, community clothing closet. This is a new application, providing gently used new clothing at no cost for low-income folks. And they partner with low-income apartment complexes, food banks, and school districts to host clothing events. They were asking for 17,564.
Sorry. We did think it was a worthy cause. But they listed 0 Sammamish residents in 2025 with 539 proposed for 2027. This is a pop-up. And so the salaries for the three, what they were proposing was salaries to finally take a salary, which they were proposing 150,000. I'm trying to remember if that was the city's share. No, the city's share was 132. And so the amount of clothing donations was 36,000. So to agree to fund 150,000 for salaries when only 36,000 was for the clothes that they, I mean, it's still a worthy cause. It's just.
Did they mention they're going to do the pop-ups in Sammamish?
I'm trying to recall.
They don't have any data for Sammamish, and the pop-ups they've done have been in the Issaquah area.
Okay.
And they only started in May 2025.
Got it.
So I think
So why
Yeah.
2,500? Why not 0?
I think because, well, I mean, I can't speak for you, but like, yeah.
I guess I was assuming that they were coming to Sammamish with these pop-ups. But that's a really good question.
Yeah, I think I don't have the application at hand.
I do.
It just says that
okay.
we are expanding across Renton
Yeah.
and into Sammamish.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
just
what I
have to
thought.
believe
Okay.
they're gonna do it now.
Okay.
And I believe when they say pop-ups, that means that they are bringing the clothing to people where it's more convenient than just going to
Mhm.
this club.
Right.
Food and clothing
Okay.
bank.
Thank you.
So, you know, I think it has potential, so we kind of wanted to.
We wanted to kind of see if they would actually come to Sammamish for this grant, and 2,500 is a pretty low amount.
Did they reach out to you?
They did.
Okay.
They definitely seem they're up and running, seem very dedicated. Yeah, they seem to know what they need to do.
Wait, was this before or after you mentioned the amount of tracking that would be included on your part?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, look, it's tracking. Yeah, I mean, I think like, you know, we talked about like, you know, when we allocate funding for staff time, it means, you know,
You have to track.
and I think that really will be a different conversation that as a commission, like once we've gone through this review process, like, you know, for the next funding cycle, do we want to have a minimum amount? Like I know other cities say, we won't give you less than 5,000 because it's not worth us the staff time to track that, but we don't have that in place right now. So yeah, that's 2,500. Yeah. So all right. Okay, next one is HopeLink English for Work. They're requesting 16,725. Helping English language learners prepare for employment. various classes for beginner, intermediate and advanced, and online and in-person classes. This was, we didn't fund them last cycle, but we did fund them in 23-24.
They did provide a few examples in there of clients that they've assisted, which was nice. They assisted 18 Sammamish residents in 2025 with 15 proposed for 2027. The service units proposed were 750 hours of English language instruction. Their outcomes were 50% of students get a job, a better job, or enroll in an education or job training program. I think the math on this one equated to one client costing $2,230 for each client. And they were asking, or maybe they listed that. I think they listed that. And they were asking for 1,115, which was 50% of what it would cost to assist a client. They didn't list any volunteers, even though they said they're volunteer run. After we did the math, the instruction came out to about $44.60 per hour, which seemed pretty high. We feel like the program's pretty necessary. And so we landed on 7,500.
Based on the hourly rate and the service units. Are these online classes or in person?
Both online and in-person classes.
And where in person?
Will be in Redmond.
Yeah,
Oh, it's in Redmond.
It was not
Yeah.
here.
No, next one's for tomorrow, eviction prevention. They're requesting $15,015. Over to you guys.
It says 15,000. Did we say 15,000 or
15,000.
$15,015?
No, it was like 15,000 because it's like $15. It's just, yeah. So you guys allocated 15,000 rather than
Okay.
15,015. Yeah.
Why did you guys do that? Why not the $15 as well?
I know, you know what? Because they're making my life easier, hopefully, you know.
I don't remember speaking out the 15, but
I just go for round numbers.
I know, yeah,
Especially
yeah.
if we're gonna have to reduce it by an odd.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what you guys said.
but this is going to be very interesting because at the end of this,
Yes.
I feel like at the end of this, you're going to be surprised. We're actually 11,000 under. So, but let's get to that.
Yes.
Once
why'd
we
you
do
say
this.
that?
So, okay, okay.
I had the same question. That's why 9,600. I'm like,
Yes, fine.
Yeah, okay. So, and then
you guys have
Maybe they did some kind of math as well.
good
I don't know.
calculations.
Yeah.
behind that ways.
next one is Eat Happy Now Food Rescue, new application. Taking surplus food from local businesses and delivering it to community partners. Deliveries to food bank shelters and community partners. They're asking for 15,000.
We said 0. Okay. 0 residents assisted in 2025, 0 proposed for 2027.
Did they reach out to you?
No.
0 residents across, yeah, it was.
Okay.
No. Next one is the Archdiocese Housing Authority New Bethlehem project. They are 24/7, 365 shelter for families experiencing homelessness. The only shelter on the east side that works with families. Showers, case managers on site, counselling and behavioural health. They are asking for 12,825.
Someone else?
So this is, yeah, I looked at this one. We funded them at 9,500 last year. So we're a little less. They're asking a little more and we're giving them a little less. It's shelter, 65% achieved the results of moving into permanent housing. That's fair. They've had a lot of funding cuts, so we sympathize with that. But again, not a lot of Sammamish residents served. So this is funding the original.
Where are they
solution.
located?
Pardon me?
Where are they located?
They have various shelters. around in, well, actually, this one is predominantly in Clifton,
Oh,
a 10 unit shelter.
so why have we decreased the funding from last time? Because
I think it's based on like the allocation of like how many Sammamish residents they served last go round.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I think Rita mentioned she doesn't actually get that information right when you're doing
Yeah,
that.
when I'm giving, when I'm actually, because it's a homelessness shelter, we have to give out irrespective because we don't get that data. And only now in the application do we get that data. And so the commission looked at that and looked at how many Sammamish residents were served. So that was their proposal.
And did you do the calculation for service unit and all that here?
No, because Mary.
And they
did the-
didn't have any Sammamish residents in their shelter last year.
So why 8,000 also then?
A regional problem that we're supporting in homelessness.
Yeah, like why not 4 or 5? Like, or 2,500 like you guys gave to the last
Well, the
one.
thing is that look, Somi, I think like in
Clothing
a
event.
situation like that, I think we could all ask, well, why not this? Why
No,
not
I'm
that?
just
Like,
trying to
I
ask the
think what it
thinking
is
because
is
that makes me also understand like, oh my God, okay, this is the way these are guys are thinking. And probably we should have a similar way of thinking when we do all
Well,
these.
I
separate-
think
because
the
I
way-
love the way she's calculating the hours,
but
hourly rate.
I also think that like as a commission, like you've all come at it from different angles and you've all got different perspectives, and I think they're very valid. And I don't think one way is a definitive way. If
I
it's, you know, so and I think it's like kind of looking at like our regional responsibility, and then sort of also committing to so yes, I think it's just, you know, and I think like all the commissioners have come up with different reasoning for different like programs, and so
That's exactly. I
unfortunately,
just want
we
to know
can't-
like
but we
what are
can't
you?
have a
What did
uniform-
Mary think?
Well,
When she had this number of 8,000.
yeah, and one thing I do think about is there are many nonprofits that do very broad-based work, like food, meals, things that you're going to have high number of service units in. And then there are other agencies that fund narrow but deep. And one of those is housing. Housing is expensive. And if you only have a 10-unit shelter, you can't serve that many people. But those you do serve is significant. It's life-changing. So that's why bigger numbers, even if 0 to no service units, because someday a Sammamish resident will need that.
Well, the one thing, and I had to keep going back in my head because even though sometimes the Sammamish isn't listed, sometimes people that are homeless aren't willing to provide any information at all. So then they wind up in unknown. So this one doesn't have any unknown, but
Well, no, that's a good point. That's a good point.
but yes, sometimes they do have less beds. And so it's almost like musical chairs, like who's gonna rush to get the bed first, and it might not have been somebody that lucked out from Sammamish, unfortunately. So there might still be a need, but it's either in unknown or they didn't make it that year. But yeah, I agree. We kind of went, we did go back and forth on the Sammamish resident thing a lot on these. And we did flag a couple that we said, hey, we might go back after we've looked at others to see what the thinking, you know what I mean? Because you might be thinking one way and then by you get to the end of the meeting, you're thinking, well, we didn't really do that with the other one, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, this one's Sophia Way, Sophia's Place, 24/7 extended shelter for 21 women. Case management, clients can stay up to 6 months, and also a weather activated emergency shelter. They are requesting 12,775.
On this one, we said 6,000.
Yep.
We said one Sammamish resident was assisted in 2025, and they were proposing to increase to 3 in 2027. It was so last year they were awarded 19,000 with just one resident assisted, so we did kind of look at that somewhat on some of them. But they did cite 216 drop-in days for unenrolled clients and overnight stays. Can't remember if we talked about whether there were individual rooms or spaces, but we did talk about that briefly on some of these to say.
So this one should be pretty similar to Helen's place as well, right?
And that's why we said,
Yeah, I think this is different because this is extended stay.
Okay.
yeah.
And they can stay up to 6 months, and so, yeah.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Helen's place does not have the extended stay.
I don't believe
Yeah,
so.
Okay.
That said, one more thing, only 30% success rate for women transitioning to permanent or stable housing as well. And they didn't provide a timeline. So when they said it was a 30% success rate for them to transition over, didn't say for how long. Like how long would they be in that permanent or stable housing? And there were multiple revenue sources, so that was good. You do the math on this one? Value. Hotels. Sorry, moment. I have two different spreadsheets in case there were additional questions.
If we're low in our totals, can we revisit some of these?
We have to talk about that as a commission as a whole. So,
I would vote this is one to revisit.
Right, I think we said some of the housing programs we wanted to revisit. We just
Okay.
wanted to start with something.
but I think what we need to look at is that you're looking at basic needs, and we've got to ask the rest of the commission as a whole for their other subgroups as well. Okay, so should we come back to that one then?
Sure,
No,
and basically it was, did we award $19,000 for one resident?
Yeah. And I
That's
think
what
we
it
ended
came
up
down
with-
to.
And it's interesting, like we gave 19,000 last time. They were requesting less, 12,775, but I think it came down to how many actual residents were served.
Plus,
It's your-
all three of us had to agree on a number.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That-
which
that
is
was sometimes.
yes,
So
absolutely.
give and take, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So the next one is Hope Link Emergency Food. And this is a food program for households, providing visits twice a month. And they also offer a mobile market, offer fresh produce, dairy and meat. They are asking for 12,500.
we landed on 12,500 for that one. Yeah. 220 Sammamish residents in 2025, 250 proposed for 2027. 57,000 over 57,000 meals were from the food bank or delivered.
Okay. How much did we fund them last time?
9,500. Next one is Food and Clothing Bank Case Management Services, offering comprehensive trauma and fraud assistance to clients. Services available through food banks, and they also offer transportation or rental assistance, clothing, and access to counselling. They are asking for 12,500.
We landed on 12,500. 78 residents were assisted in 2025. They proposed 101 for 2027. So.
Question. Were the service units met
Yes,
from last time?
it was, yeah.
They're proposing 54 that could include duplicated households receiving case management, and also 168 also duplicated, potentially duplicated. Basic need items that were received. They did include examples of the basic need items, which were bus tickets, clothes, phones, and IDs.
Next one is Lake Washington Schools Foundation Pantry Packs, offering weekly food for kids in Lake Washington School District, volunteer run program, and they organize food drives and coordinate deliveries amongst schools. They are asking for 12,500.
And we said 12,500 for that one. 46 residents were assisted in 2025 with 50 proposed in 2027. There over 1,300 bundles of food, which spanned across the weekend, so 2 days. It was what they were proposing.
Next one is hindering families in transition. They are asking for 11,293. They offer therapeutic, educational support services for children experiencing housing instability, infant mental health resources, language and occupational therapy, as well as coaching and play groups.
I think we landed on 2,500 with them. I think last year, they don't have services in Smarmish closest, this is in Bellevue. Last year, they served one resident, this time they think they will serve 5. So, and I think we had some issues with their previous units, right?
Yes, so
previous-
they found it difficult to get their service units in
Yeah,
the past. We paid them 3,800 last cycle, so it was a big jump in requests. And yeah, I feel like it was hard to justify the big jump in the requests, so hence the 2,500.
And it is funny that they are asking us and Bottle the same amount of money. They expect us to provide Smarmish with 43 and Bottle with 283. Like even those numbers were just not adding up. So I think overall, I think this made sense to give it 2,500.
Okay. Next one is Boys and Girls Club of King County. New application for out of school childcare, supervised after school year-round program, and program delivered by youth development professionals. They are asking for 10,000.
And this was a new program, right? A new applicant.
Yes.
Basically, their program description was out of school childcare with integrated youth development and social emotional support for Sammamish youth. And they were proposing 464 youth served also last year, which I thought it was a new program. Did that happen last year?
Well, they didn't apply to us for funding, so that would be just their own
Could
program.
happen, yeah, okay. But yeah, we didn't award it last year. I thought that the outcome, the outcome of an youth report improved ability to cope with difficult situations. That's a good outcome. But it was kind of vague. It was kind of.
And also they get the building for free.
Yeah,
from the, yes.
Yeah, this is the
and,
Boys
and I think
Club,
it was
very nice building.
and I think it just wasn't clear where the money was going to in this application. It was kind of wishy-washy.
It wasn't clear to me.
And did they reach out to you, given that it's a new application?
They did, but
Okay.
like, yeah, it was a really kind of an odd, vague kind of, yeah, I don't think they quite knew what they were applying for. Next one is Crisis Connections, 211. Free confidential line for folks that need access to resources. Top reason for calls include housing, shelter, food, government and legal resources. They're asking for 10,000.
Yes, they're asking for 10,000 and we agreed to award them 10,000. They served 155 residents of Sammamish, and this is the first line. This is where you call for help.
Yeah.
So they're really critical. They've got the information.
And they do pick up the calls.
They do, and in the past we've always funded 3 programs for Crisis Clinic, Teen Link, which they didn't apply for this time round, and then also one other. So this is the only line for Crisis Connection that we're actually funding, and yes, they do. And then I think the critical thing about this crisis clinics 211 number is that they maintain this database. We can all have a database, but they maintain it. So they're definitely, it is the first place that people call if they need help. Yeah. Okay, got 10,000. Next one is the Cascade Bicycle Club. Building community through food rescue, new application, offering food bank delivery, free group rides and educational programs, 400 volunteer bikelists and partnering with local food banks. They asked for 10,000.
And we agreed not to give it. Cascade Bicycle Club is a great bicycle club. I think they're well known for doing the STP. But they have this kind of new idea for meal, what do you call it? Save meal, food rescue. That's what it was. Right. So it still wasn't clear to me. Are they picking up old restaurant food or grocery food? Not clear. But they have a going concern. They're doing quite a bit in Burien. And so, but they're hoping to reach out. So they kind of just asked a lot of Eastside cities for money, and I don't think it's applicable here in Sammamish.
Yeah.
Will they be the transporters of food?
Yeah,
Or
they're gonna bicycle, like,
and it's not clear whether it will be like a restaurant food or, as you said, like home-based food
I couldn't
services.
tell.
no, couldn't tell. And then there was also, it wasn't going to benefit Sammamish residents because they didn't serve any Sammamish residents. It just didn't seem very realistic and definitely
They
geographically.
can bicycle.
I suppose up that hill. Yeah,
Mhm.
good luck. There you go. All right, next
Maybe I
one.
think if it's not clear what kind of food and what the
No, it
specific
did say
activity-
they were beginning a partnership
Yeah.
with HopeLink in
Okay.
East King County.
Yeah, I've not heard anything.
But
about
it says, and expect for this to result in increased food rescue and or meals provided to community members in Kirkland, Bellevue, and potentially Redmond.
Okay, so there's no solution.
All right, next one is housing connecting, housing for all, access to rental housing for families, experiencing homelessness, provides 2 years of financial and customer support, such as emergency rent relief, eviction prevention. They are asking for 10,000.
I think we said we wanted that. And I
Mhm.
think. They also did not meet their.
Yeah, so we didn't fund them the last cycle. The last cycle they did apply for funding. We did not fund them. They only reserved 1 resident, and they were saying that they would serve 9 residents. And I feel like the commissioners just felt like it was too big a jump to.
And their expenses are also way off the board. From last year to this year, their expenses went from 4 million to 12 million.
And where are they located?
They are located in Seattle.
Yeah.
And the salaries and wages make up 4 million.
Yeah, so
With the city's share at 350,000 for all the cities. Yeah.
yeah, the numbers were just like their budget difference is 205% from 2025 to 2027. So it seemed like their money was going a lot towards their own maintenance.
Right. It's more or less like providing a lot of data.
Yeah,
They can provide a lot of data to their partner locations, it sounds like, to lower the screening criteria.
like they don't themselves provide, they provide data for them. So they
The
themselves don't provide
properties.
services.
Maybe try to improve credit scores for applicants, things like
Yeah,
that.
I think it mentioned that.
It's really a tech-based. thing.
Yeah, it's a test-based.
Not,
Exactly.
not
And
really
I
direct
think they-
service.
Pay the rent if those folks default, if the. I think
Okay.
that's what they said,
Mhm.
yeah.
All right. Next one is Health Point Dental Care, serving low-income clients that face specific cost and insurance barriers. The clinic location is in Redmond, and they're asking for 9,500.
And we agreed to fund 9,500, which is, I believe, what we did last year.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
asked for the same amount last year.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, same amount. 219 Sammamish service units, 122 families.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, for $9,500. 120, that's amazing.
Yeah. They
It's
always
a bargain.
achieve that. They always
Dental.
achieve the service
So-
units, yeah.
Wish mine was
They
that.
have a mobile clinic as well, right? They have a
Pardon?
mobile clinic.
They have a
Like it
medical
goes to-
clinic,
In
they have a
Redmond.
dental, I don't think they have one come up.
No,
Oh,
I think they're both, the dental and medical are in Redmond.
Yes, they are, yeah, in the Vidova Center, yeah.
Nice to be here.
Next one is Kidvantage, used to be known as Eastside Baby Corner, providing critical basic needs for low-income families with infants and children aged 0 to 12. They are asking for 9,146.
We said we'll give them the full 9,146. We've got a good record. Last year, they provided 2,045 items, bundle of items. This year, next year, they're proposing 4,000. So they more than doubled what they're proposing.
how much did we give them last time?
Last year was
7,000.
7,500.
Yeah.
So they're asking for a nominal increase.
Yeah.
They helped 80 families last year, expect to support close to 100 this year. So they said, we've got a good record, so we'll fund them fully.
Right. Next one is Essentials First, providing hygiene and cleaning items for low-income families, refugees, and folks experiencing homelessness. Kits provide hygiene and cleaning needs for 1 month. They are asking for 8,300.
Which is what we also did fund them last year at 8,300.
Yeah.
This year, it reduced to 4,000. Thinking that, serving 258 residents in Sammamish, but thinking that that was, too much money for hygiene,
Yeah.
kits.
I think it was a large jump. They're saying they assisted 56 in 2025 and 250 is projected for 2020.
Yeah, that's a huge
Yeah,
jump.
we just don't think they can get.
And I don't know that they had convincing evidence on why it was gonna be such a
Yeah.
huge jump.
Yeah, good point.
So,
They're asking for exactly the same amount which they asked last time?
yes.
Yeah.
But we cut it in half.
Because did we actually give them that?
Yeah.
Last time we didn't. I don't know if I actually fully funded that
Right.
because like I only give according to if they've achieved their service units. But I think just the big jump in numbers, it was like 5 times more. Didn't make sense to the commission. Hold on, I just.
So I remember the owner kind of coming.
executive director, yeah.
And talking to us and kind
Yeah.
of it's a Sammamish based nonprofit. Like it was started here.
No, I think it was
that's it.
more,
That's
it's more in
actually-
Redland, yeah.
And
then
then
they
they
got-
confused on that.
Yeah,
The high school. kids who
yeah,
started
but
it.
like they're really out of Redmond and there's also 3 programs in total that they're asking for funding on, but that was one of them.
Then they applied for a newer one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in my notes, I think it was last year, they proposed 95 service units and actually did 56.
Yes.
So that was what we were.
I knew there was
disputing.
some-
Yeah, there was a
Yeah,
reason
so-
because
So I
like,
think we are funding more like 56.
yes, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Right, the next one's Health Point Medical, comprehensive medical services, serving low income residents, facing cost and insurance barriers. And they're asking for 7,600.
Yes, and we agreed to fully fund them at 7,600. It's what also we did last year. They had 297 medical appointments with Sammamish residents, 297 for $7,600. I think that's well done.
Sorry, so a basic question. How do we validate the numbers which they claim that they have served?
So this is based on, like a lot of the time we have, if we funded them before, we have those numbers.
We
So,
have them, but is it just because they claim to have?
I think Rita visits.
yeah, so I mean, they say
When
like,
they say 250 or anything like that,
Yeah.
how do we validate? Like, oh yeah, do they show us some records which we are like?
well, yeah,
"Okay,
when
this
we
is
do a
the
monitoring
Sammamish
visit,
address,
yeah,
Sammamish
yeah,
address."
they have to keep zip codes, that kind of thing, so yeah. All right, and the next one's Porchlight Enhanced Shelter, This is a 24/7 men's shelter for men experiencing homelessness. On-site resources include bathrooms, showers, laundry, food. Also, case management is provided, and they are asking for 7,140.
Said we would give them 5,000.
Mhm.
Their application itself was a little incomplete because even though they said that they have supported 59 service units of one, then 62 of another, their actual number of resident support is 0.
Mhm.
So I think some issues with their application itself, but because it is a King County wide shelter for men and it's required, I mean, it's a required need or required support, we said we would still give them 5,000. And I think last year we gave them 6,800.
Yeah.
This year they're asking for 7,140. We said we give them 5,000. Simply because it's a King County wide need.
And they did actually list in the notes to make it clear, you know, some clients are
Right.
not claiming any residents. They don't feel comfortable giving that data. So they did kind of refer down to, you know, the
Yeah.
unknown.
They did say that, but I think where I was a little confused is because in the service units, they've
Mhm.
mentioned the service units, but in the city, they've put 0.
Yeah.
So there's some, well, their application was a little incomplete, but then they're doing good work. It's required. I mean, it's something that definitely is a need that we should be supporting.
In other words, and also because some of the other programs like Sophia's is a women's only
Yeah.
shelter.
This
You
is
know,
meant-
this
This
is
is
a
for
men.
men's, yeah. So definitely need to support them.
Usually with incomplete applications, don't we
Yeah.
just give it a
Well,
zero?
when we say incomplete, like there have been incomplete applications where literally they have
They
no
didn't
service
provide
units
the
or like they
documentation.
don't have the documentation.
Yeah.
I think the commissioner's sense is they're giving towards more the regional, sub-regional sense of a men's shelter.
And not
Um,
to members first.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And they could be in the unknown.
Yeah.
Well, it's
No.
not because it's
And-
not it's nonsensical.
Yeah.
If they say
Yeah, if they've got
they have
service unit.
59
Right.
Sammamish people in 51 in bed nights and 59 in drop dead.
And
It's
then,
Sammamish,
yeah,
and yet Sammamish residents serve 0.
yeah.
So it just didn't make sense.
It's an
Yeah.
oversight. I
I-
feel, yeah, whoever wrote down the application.
But I
kind of-
agree. I think it probably should get brought to their attention.
Yeah,
Hey, in the future, we do actually want to know.
yeah.
So I volunteer there as well, a lot.
Okay.
I provide food and everything. And they are doing an amazing job.
Mhm.
So I was just a little curious,
Mhm.
like why not the full amount and why we've thought of 5,000, that's all. And that's the reason I asked
So
this question.
Sportslight has 3 applications
Yeah.
in all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
saw
we've
that, yeah.
given 2 of the applications, we have funded them.
Mm.
And again, we did some of the math
Mm.
and the numbers were also a little high in terms of per night.
Okay,
So we said,
Mhm.
okay, we'll fund them 5,000
got it.
and
Mhm. Washington Poison Center, immediate free medical assistance for folks to call that have been exposed to hazardous or toxic substances, also educational programs for the community. They're asking for $6,099.
I think this one we said we would give 0. I think it was simply a matter of, hey, does this organization really need the money? They're very well funded and our city is a little crunched for money. So we would, rather give it to organizations that really need the funding versus an organization that's already pretty well funded. That was a reasoning on giving them 0. But no questions asked about whether they're effective or not. They're pretty effective for sure.
And that Sammamish residents do.
Yeah, some Amish residents do, but
I do remember funding from Zero last time as well.
Yeah, I think what it was is that first of all, very few cities fund them, and that's not the reason why we should or shouldn't, but they really do have a very big portfolio of like federal, state, local, county funding. And so I think, the commissioners are like, okay, if we don't fund them, they still have a lot of
They're not going to collapse.
yeah, they're not going to collapse.
And
This is a
then the
smaller.
funding can go there.
because they do get 4 million, almost 5 million of state and federal funds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're pretty well funded.
Next one's Bridge Disability Ministries. They offer refurbished medical mobility equipment, no application process, low barrier access point for low income people with disabilities. They are asking for 6,000.
And we agreed to fund them at 6,000. 89 Sammamish, 51 residents, 89 receiving basic needs. This is the kind of stuff, the equipment you need when you get out of the hospital, walkers, wheelchairs, and you only need them for a while. So it's really handy. It's
Is this a new application?
No, we
I
funded them
don't think
last.
so.
We funded them for the last 3 cycles. We funded them last go around 5,700,
Mhm.
and they always achieved their service units.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's happy.
Next one's HopeLink Housing, 219 units of emergency shelter, transitional homes and permanent housing. Clients receive case management, and they also have access to HopeLink services. They are asking for 5,100.
We said 5,100. The service units were 1,100 nights in transitional housing or permanent housing. And 21 hours of case management. No emergency shelter nights were expected for Sammamish. And only, I shouldn't say only, 3 Sammamish residents were assisted in 2025 and 3 proposed for 2027.
Right, this one. Essentials First World Food Program, providing culturally specific food for residents facing food insecurity. Gift cards provided for local food stores and aimed at low income residents and new refugees. They're asking for 5,000.
And we agreed to fund them at 2,000, which is fairly similar to last year. That I think 1,900.
Yeah, we did 1,900 last time.
Agreeing that it's a worthwhile program. 30 boxes of food received by Sammamish residents last year, 50 proposed, and 139 families served, 200 proposed for next. So we agreed it's a good program. This one at 2,000, kind of back to that question of that number, how low do we go?
So I think what it was is that, and these are my notes, is that we felt like there was no way they would be able to achieve their resident numbers in their application that they're
Up
proposing.
the growth.
Yes, yes. So that's why I think we, as a commission, you decided
Going from 30 to 50,
Yeah,
or
I think it was
39,
service
139 to
units.
200.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good jump.
Yeah.
They thought everyone was gonna.
For the notes, they said we're expecting increased demand in 2027. But
Yeah, they've increased everyone, so I don't know how much demand they're expecting, but.
well, it doesn't say, it just says
Yeah.
increased demand.
The next one's another Essentials First program.
Do you want this one, the first one, World Food Program, to be, put some marked as something which you would want to revisit if you have more funding, or no?
I would say, like, we haven't got that much money to play with, right? We've got let me see, like 11,000. So, and remember, like, there's lots of other stuff.
that's all.
I understand. We're just
Yeah,
picking a list
yeah.
right now. Do you want this in the list, or you don't want it in the list? That's all.
In my notes, I wrote revisit ?
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Well, if you wrote it, we must have said it.
Yeah, and also because that threshold, are we gonna have a threshold?
So,
Too low.
so 0 or more.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I hate to give 0, so.
Okay.
There's another Essentials First program, volume distribution program, provides local food banks access to hygiene items to distribute to clients. And they distribute to households quarterly to families. They're asking for 5,000.
Was that yours, Mary?
Nothing.
No, that wasn't me.
Was it? Okay, well, I will speak for you. So it was, I think you guys proposed 5,000.
Yeah, we did. We just went for 5,000.
Because we paid them 4,800 last time. And we thought that was not too much of a big jump.
And
so
I do recall we talked about a lot of the essentials first. Because I think there were 4 or 5 applications, right?
3 or 3.
Well, 3 for basic needs. There were some I think you talked about.
I don't think so. I think that was maps and CRT.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was like a resume or some kind of, there was something in a different subgroup. It was
Okay.
like helping
Resume writing?
resume write or something like that. But and we landed on agreeing to the 5,000 for the volume distribution because that was the one I think that serves our residents likely the most because because it's a large volume, they're distributing it in bulk to the local food, as far as we know, the local food banks and stuff, and food pantries. And so I think that's where likely most of the residents here would be getting the supplies.
Okay.
So, yeah, like the hygiene stuff is not, it's not nothing. It was just that we felt like likely our residents are likely getting it from how it's being dispersed to the other food banks. And that's why we were willing to save. Okay, do you want 5,000? 5,000 is fine.
Next one. MAPS MCRC, Information Referral Services, 24/7 walk-in for anyone whose basic needs aren't being met, and helping those that have cultural and language barriers. They are asking for 5,000.
And we said we would give them 4,000. They are mostly a referral services, but then they do support. They do have cultural focus. So, and they don't expect to serve. They expect to serve 20 more people from lunch. So it's just a referral service. But
So what do they do?
So when people come to them, they provide referrals out to
At the Together Center. So they're in the center with all the other
Some
nonprofits.
information referral. service. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but Mary has firsthand information about them, and they do great work, and they do have the cultural and language proximity to people.
Okay.
So they're doing good work. So we said we would put them 5,000. I mean 4,000.
4,000, yeah.
They asked 5. We said we would put them 4.
Next one's Friends of Youth Transitional Living, a transitional housing program in East King County serving young adults 18 to 24 experiencing homelessness, 2 locations in Bothell and Kirkland. They are asking for 4,289.
And we agreed on 4,289, even though it says there were 0 Sammamish residents assisted in 2025 with 1 proposed for 2027. So for outcomes, they listed 90% permanent housing success rate, but that was for those that were transitioning into permanent, I think, as opposed to non-permanent exits.
There are many housing related nonprofits before whom we did not fund a complete amount in case they're not serving Sammamish residents. So what was different in this one?
Well, this amount was less than I
Yeah.
think what others were asking for.
And I think they have funded other. I don't think there's anyone where they've not funded in the way of like homelessness housing.
I think the housing connector was the only one.
Yeah, but that wasn't necessarily.
that
And
was-
it's not direct.
That's
Right,
not
right,
direct
right,
service,
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everything else, because we don't have homeless service in Sammamish,
Yeah.
right? Like
So-
nobody is providing that.
So I think it's part of your regional kind
We're
of.
looking at it.
Yeah,
from a regional
yeah.
And I hear what you're saying. We went through them together as a group one time. So we did say, hey, some of these we're kind of developing a thought process through them. And so we said that housing was the one that, as far as I know, we said, hey, if this needs revisited, that's worthy of revisiting due to the regional stuff.
Okay, so fully funding 4,289. Next is MAPS NCRC Food and Gas Distribution Program. emergency assistance, providing cards, redeemable for food or gas. And they are asking for 4,000.
Yes, and we said you give them full 4,000. So pretty essential service. They also have same cultural language proximity. Last year they helped 47 Squamish residents. This year they expect to help 52. So we thought that is a worthy cause to support. So we are proposing to give them the full amount.
Sophia Way Outreach Program. This is a new program connecting unsheltered individuals to shelter housing services across East King County. Also outreach and case management services. They are requesting 4,000.
Oh, we said 0 on this one. I think the 3 of us landed on 0. 0 Sammamish residents in 2025, 2 for 2027. There were no service units that were listed for Sammamish, and they said only 30% of outreach recipients would secure permanent or stable housing. They do have a rather lean budget. They said they had 1 paid staff member with minimal funding, but we don't really know the effectiveness because I think they said they just started this outreach.
This is a new program. Yeah.
So,
and I will say, just knowing their outreach tends to be not in Sammamish.
okay.
Yeah, it just does. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was picturing the safe parking and
Yeah.
whether or not
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had any here.
No, we
Yeah, so.
Next one, King County Bar Association. They provide low-income residents with free legal consultation. There's also a housing justice program and neighborhood legal clinics, and they are asking for 3,300.
And we said we would fund them fully. Last year they did a pretty good job. They served 76 residents. This year they are, 2027, they're saying they will help 80 residents, and they have not asked for that much of an increase from 3,100 that we paid them last year to 3,300. So it's a worthy cause to support. So we will fund them fully.
Next one, Porchlight Rotating Shelter, a medium barrier shelter serving up to 25 men, navigation team to help the men, and access to medical substance abuse and mental health support. They are asking for 3,045.
Yeah, I think last year they said they served 0, but this year they expect to serve 1 person for 85 nights. Again, it's a regional center, so we're just giving them the full amount.
Next one's Assistance League, Operation School Bell, supporting low-income families in Lake Washington School District to get food, clothing, school supplies, and they give gift cards to families to shop, and they're asking for 2,500.
And unfortunately, we are not going to be funding them. Their application was quite incomplete. They are volunteer
completely
run.
incomplete. It killed me.
I know.
It killed
was
me because they're
clearly-
so good. They actually, and I've been to watch it. They give family like $100 gift card to shop in Fred Meyer
Yeah.
right at the start of the school year. I know.
Yeah.
And,
And
but
I
it
don't
was
even know
severely incomplete.
Yeah, because we can't even see what the funding request was for other cities.
No, I know. It was
It's a
just
shame
yeah.
because they're well known. but,
Yeah.
You know.
And finally, wow, the last one is Porchlight Housing, permanent supportive housing for chronically homeless men, case management provided. They're asking for 1,260.
And that we said you give 0 suture because it's too small an amount for us to track and manage. So we said since you already provided them money with the other 2 applications, we did 0.
It's a shame because I think this one's at least somewhat permanent versus a rotating.
I think if we had to revisit, I might revisit the amount that we reduced for Porchlight in the previous application, the first one. I think we reduced it by $1,000, and maybe I would give that full.
And then we did talk about one of the Sophia's Way ones, but
Yeah.
Right.
Or vice versa. So
So
if we
talking
get to the
about
last, if we get to the last slide, so We had for this subgroup, there was a total of 875,399. The commissioners that were assigned to this subgroup did a tremendous job where they were able to get it down to 324,680. So that is the end of the subgroup for basic needs. And thank you all. That was gigantuan task. There were lots of applications. So thank you all for all the work and effort you've put into that. And then
That said, if I had known that we wouldn't necessarily be discussing the changes, then I probably would have stayed a little later that day to try to get through those.
Which one?
To revisit any of the ones that, we're pretty cool.
So we have 3 in the list: the Sophia Way, Porchlight Enhanced Shelter Program, and Essentials First World Food Program. In that list, in case we have some spare funding and we want to increase it, right?
Which Sophia Way was it?
Sophia Way, Sophia's Place.
Okay.
Next one is Porchlight Enhanced Shelter Program. And the third one is
Helen's Place?
Was it Helen's
Or
or
was
was it
it-
Sophia's?
It's Sophia.
Sophia's
There's
right.
2 of them.
Okay, right, sorry.
so Chair, do we want to talk about point 2, going to new business, and then we'll circle back?
oh, so we want to discuss the process for developing final recommendation.
Yeah. So if you look, there's the final spreadsheet that you all have. And the subgroups did an incredible job because normally, traditionally, we're like thousands and thousands. So do you remember, like, like 400,000 over. And we've always had to try and figure out, like, well, how do we get to the magic number? Our magic number is 683,000. The reason being is that is what council gave us last go around. So that is what we're assuming, 683,000. In the past, this has never happened where we've actually come in $11,497 under
So where
our
was that?
target.
68.
So it's not here, it's just 683,000 was what we were aiming for. And
Okay.
that's what we funded last go round. So
Okay.
we
But there's
have
an
a
economic
difference.
shortfall,
Sorry?
potentially, right? I mean, instead of going up or staying the same, it could potentially go down.
Yes, I mean, we don't know. That's really like,
Sure.
that's up to council and what they, but what we've always aimed for is what we have allocated the last funding cycle. So it's really up to you as a commission. So
How much have you
683, sorry,
How much have you requested this time?
we don't know. So
Oh, but-
the council, you've got to go to council
Yeah,
for
no,
recommendation.
have we added the recommendations
So look,
and
so yes, at the top here, can you see, Soumya?
yeah.
So this is what originally was 1,900,000, and so
This was the ask.
this was the ask, and then this is, can you see, this is
Yeah.
the different breakdown of all the subgroups, and this is our number,
This is what you're
671,000.
requesting,
This is what the
potential request.
this is what the recommendation, that is, yeah.
Oh.
So it's $671,503.
So we're not
And-
much less.
So we're
Than that.
11,497. Now it really is up to you as a commission. Are you happy with this and you want to just give this over and say this is what we're recommending, or do you want to go up to the 683,000? And that would be a difference of 11,497. And as staff, like, we will follow your direction.
I did we mention the ones that were below the $4,000 threshold? Or the revisits? Okay.
Well, is that what we agreed on, that 4,000 is our
I
threshold?
think we just kind of said.
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
trying to come up with what staff time, how much
I
staff
think
time.
we should have one. And that it does eliminate a few.
I mean, if it's what they requested, that's one thing, but I think we lowered some.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
here's what I'm thinking. We have not informed the applicants right off the bat that this is the magic
Yes.
number.
100%,
don't-
yes. Yes.
For less than that, you will not be granted.
And so,
That's what I meant,
commissioners, and that's why I always say that this is a topic that we need to really look at once all this is done for the next funding cycle as to like, so we have not specified, like we have a minimum, like, you know, because a lot of other cities will say, we will not give any money under 5,000 to you because it's too much staff time, but we've never made that explicit. And that's something that the commission really has to look at as a whole. After this.
Right, it wouldn't be fair to do.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't necessarily propose not funding one that requested less than that, but for ones where we recommend, the three of us recommended that, then maybe that's worth revisiting.
But I would also say, Commissioner Williams, we have two other subgroups, right? So
Right.
that 11,497.
I'll knock it
Again,
off.
it's the will of the commission.
Correct.
Like, you know, and you know, unfortunately, we don't have the full commission here. So
Okay.
I would ask. Sorry, I'm letting you chair this, but
I mean, I really feel like I would like to put a bigger amount out of that 11,000 into the basic needs, given it is basic needs. And sadly, I don't remember us forming a list on our subgroup like we did now for you guys. Like, okay, if at all there is an extra funding, where would we put that?
Yeah, we've never had this situation. We've
Yeah,
never
I know.
So
it's like we never made that list. I'm not quite sure about you guys. Did you guys make that list? Like, in case we have more, who will we give it to?
Jake and I did not create a list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same here.
Yeah.
And
I think we were looking at revisiting things, but I keep forgetting.
yeah, and I feel like because we presented basic needs today and we made that list quite together, and it is basic needs, I'm okay if at all we're distributing that 11,000 there. If at all there is some amount still remaining, then we can obviously revisit both of these subgroups and distribute it there.
That's a good thought. Okay. And I think it also makes sense with the basic groups is the largest list as well. So you can put maybe, I don't know.
So out of the 3 which we had in the list, and 4 actually, Porchlight housing, I mean, I don't know what have we decided about. If we don't have a minimum amount which is to be requested, should we still go ahead with it, or for this time we don't want to, and then we put it up next time as a disclaimer, and then next time we want to, because it's just one. It's not like many of them are in that trap of not requesting the minimum. So we can just ignore it for this time.
Okay,
and
so
not enhanced. And next time we just make sure that we do have a minimum requirement stated very clearly in our application cycle.
Yeah, but the other thing I wonder is if the next year we receive applications that are maybe more local, right? And they don't need $5,000. They just need like $1,000. Maybe it's something the kids come up with. Hey, we want to do something. I think while we say that 4,000 is the minimum, I think maybe we also need a way to support maybe Samamish based nonprofits, which we don't know what we'll get next year.
Yeah.
We need to have that open, that if you don't have a base in Samamish, then the minimum has to be 4,000. But if you are Samamish based, then we will consider a lower amount.
Then Rita will use more than $4,000.
Yeah, but I think in this instance, we've got 11,497. What would you like to do with that? And would you like to sort of like come up with something now because it's fresh? And
no, I mean that's what we were discussing, right? So with Porchlight housing, because it's 1,260.
Okay, so Porchlight
I agree with what
so
we so
we
need
which
to
one?
have that kind of
Which one are we looking at?
Last one.
Last
So
one.
why don't we just give the other one for
Housing, the 1,260.
Well, the fund that
what I meant is
the enhanced.
Yeah, enhanced shelter. We anyway said we'll only give them 5,000 out of the 7,000. Let's just fund them fully.
So
No, the enhanced.
The
Porchlight enhanced shelter program.
so make that 7,140.
Still put the set 0.
Okay.
So then we have.
Okay, so then hold on. So let me I'm going to get my calculator out, and then I was doing the same.
Instead of the housing, is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah. No, we're suggesting this one. There is a Porchlight at the top as well,
Yeah,
right? The
enhanced
enhanced
shelter
shelter program where they requested 7,140. and we give them 5,000. So she's suggesting we give them the full 7,000.
Versus the housing.
Yeah, and
one.
still.
So leaves housing off.
Right, leave housing
Okay,
off.
wait.
Then-
Okay, so okay, so are we gonna do you wanna do the Porchlight Enhanced Shelter Program to that 7,140, fully fund them?
Yeah.
What's the next one that you're saying?
No, so, and then we continue to not fund the porch light housing.
That's
because
fine,
that's
yeah.
1,260.
Okay.
Okay, next one
the
was.
next one is-
Was it the?
Essential
health?
First World Food Program. That's the one on my
Okay,
list.
Essentials First World Food Program, so we're funding them 2,000, they're requesting 5,000.
And we only did 1,900 last year.
Yes, we did, only
Yeah, I think that's the
1,900.
one I'm not fully convinced that we
Okay,
should
then.
fund more.
All right, then,
Okay,
so
but
then
yeah,
let's move on to
okay,
another one.
Then it was the Sophia Way, Sophia's Place.
Sophia Wells.
And they were at 19,000 last year, and they only asked for 12 this.
Yeah,
We're giving
yeah.
them 6.
So do you wanna, do you wanna fully fund them or keep it at 6? This is Sophia Way, Sophia's Place.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Helen's place.
Oh no, Sophia's. Helen's, we did the entire thing you guys decided
Yeah.
to.
We did 23 instead of 33.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
just what
right.
we're looking at now.
But
the
it's what we
outreach
did
program.
last year at Helen's Place.
Yeah.
Helen's?
Yeah.
Oh, the Helen's Place? Oh,
Yeah, 23,800.
I
And then
see
the
that too.
Sophia's Place is 6,000.
But there was one shelter that was for families that we talked about.
And that's the
Mhm.
Archdiocese, it is I wish I brought my glasses.
The
So
New
Arch-
Bethlehem
the New
program.
Bethlehem, yes.
And we
So that's,
funded,
yeah, you fund them 8,000
And they
and
have-
the
I think
12.
last
we-
year they were
We
90.
said we would revisit the one for families because we've
Oh,
got
yeah.
women's shelters, men's
That's-
shelters.
okay.
And
So should we
We
do
need one for
9,500 like we did last year?
not to divert from Sophia's,
Yeah,
but
this is
Yeah.
a good call.
Uh-huh.
So what do you think then? So it's, do you want to fully fund them or you currently at 8,000?
I can pull out the application if we need to delve into more detail.
Well, I have it here. Trying to think what was I,
Do you want to
The
fully fund
biggest
them at
drawback.
12,000?
65% exit into permanent housing. Special priorities given to families in Kirkland, Bellevue, and Redmond.
Goodness, what would,
Their shelters are in Kirkland. So,
Yeah.
that was kind of our
Yeah,
drawback, but
yeah,
it's not
sure.
in Savannah.
Yeah.
It's really far.
I
Not
thought
this
we
is
pulled out a
Samantha.
calculator.
But
Yeah, oh, I think that's why we said, because it's Kirkland is really
Okay.
far away.
All
And
right,
there's no
that
easy
was that.
transit. I think that's why.
So then it's Sophia Way and Helen's Way.
okay.
Helen's Place and
Sophia's Way
Sophia's.
and
Helen's
Helen's Way.
Place.
I mean, none of them are
That's the
here.
Outreach program.
And they are both in
Mm, yeah.
Bellevue and Redmond as well.
It wasn't the outreach program.
Wait, Are we
Commissioner Gogan?
changing
Not
the
yet.
archdiocese or what are we doing with that one?
We're leaving it as it is.
Because it's in
Because they're in
Kirkland.
Kirkland.
They
Well,
seem
none
to
of
have a
them are
folk.
here.
Yeah, I know none. Yeah.
They're
No,
all,
but at least
they're all
closer.
not in
No, I
Kirkland
think
or Bellevue.
the thing is, if it is in Redmond or Bellevue, I think it's a little more accessible than.
Redmond, certainly, yeah.
Redmond
Okay.
definitely is. Kirkland is,
Where is Sophia's Place?
It's one of them is in Redmond, one is in Bellevue.
Oh,
I'm getting
yeah.
confused.
I think we were talking about Helen's place because it was extended. Was that the one we were?
Extended is.
The extended stay was Helen's, wasn't it?
I believe it was Helen's, yes.
Helen's Place is in Kirkland.
Okay.
okay, it's.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
Sophia's extended shelter. We want it.
We've got 9,357 that we need to reallocate. Sar, do you have any, Commissioner Rahman, do you have any thoughts on this?
This one kind of had the lower achievement result, honestly.
So Sophia's Place is in Bellevue. Helen's is in Kirkland. Sophia's Place. that's where-
Sophia's listed, their outcome was women assessing Sophia's Place transition into permanent or stable housing, 30%. I think that was what helped also come up with the number was
Sophia's Place. So they were asking for 12K something, and we proposed 6,000. That one is in Bellevue, which is more closer.
Oh, are we looking at the extended stay or the other one?
Oh,
Extended stay, I thought that's the one we were discussing.
Oh,
Yeah.
extended stay is Sophia's place. I lied.
And it's only
Forgive
6
me.
months. It's still only 6 months.
It's only 6 months, so that would be $1,000 a month for each resident to stay there. And also the percentage of clients who are achieving that outcome was only 30%. So
And hence 6,000?
that, I think that played into it, was 6,000, so it's $1,000 per Sammamish resident for for one resident for 6 months.
Again, it's like housing,
Right.
greater good. That's
Right.
what you guys have.
I know,
talked
that,
about on
I'm just
the other
telling you the
hand.
math I came
Yeah.
up with before we met.
Yeah.
And so it was hard to continue with the same thought process because it was evolving as we went through the applications.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But that's the question. And also my question during when we were meeting was, how many of these are literally cots? How many are rooms? Like, should the rate be more if they're getting their own room? Do they have a kitchen? Is it communal? So these were all things that we were asking. I don't know if we ever had any answers to them, but without looking it up.
They both have a 30% success rate. And yours, is this the one you volunteer for?
No, Sophia's place, yes. So I usually go there to give out food. And I always get confused between Helen's place and Sophia's place. Helen's place is in Kirkland.
Okay.
This is Sophia's place. So I
It's
usually
Bellevue.
do it for food. I have not visited their shelter and kind of assessed things there. I have not done that.
But Sophia's place is in Bellevue.
Yeah.
And it's a 6-month stay.
Yes.
Is it a house? Is it a home?
We don't know.
Oh,
We don't know.
you don't go there to deliver.
I go, but it's just
I guess
they
you
have a
don't go
kitchen.
into the.
They have a
You go
kitchen.
right,
So
yeah.
people come to the kitchen and we just give out food there.
Mhm.
We don't go and see upstairs like.
Oh,
how
yeah, I'm
things
just
are.
asking, is it in a apartment building or is it?
It's a
in
building. It's a building.
Okay.
It's a building, yeah.
Mhm.
But again, I don't know if it's cot or it's a
Right. We were like, well,
house.
how much
like
could
a
we be?
room,
My
I don't
sense
know.
is it's cots,
Okay.
but then they've got like kind of like sort of temporary walls, sort of like, it's not
Some
all the way up, but
partitions,
yes,
some
partitions, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only one I would request of you to consider because
And which one is this, Chair? Sophia's Way, Helen's place?
No, the Sophia's place.
Sophia's place, okay. So we're currently funding it at 6,000, the request is 12,700.
The reason being the location, right? Not because
The location is Bellevue. The location is Bellevue.
Okay.
That's the closest we have.
Okay.
Helen's place is in Kirkland. The
Okay.
Bethlehem you spoke about was in Kirkland again.
Okay.
Both of them are, this is the only one which is closest to Sammamish, it's in Bellevue.
Okay.
It's near to
Makes sense.
Porchlight. It's in that area.
That makes sense then to revisit that one.
Yeah, that's the only reason. I'm
Okay, so then if
requesting
you
that.
were to fully fund that, that would be 6,775 extra onto the 6,000. And that's for Sophia's place.
Other one that.
Let's try it again. How about if we just go up to 10,000?
Okay, 10,000, all right then. Okay, so Sophia's place, instead of 6,000, we're doing 10,000, okay?
She's one of
Okay.
And then, so then we have,
You know, the one that I'm feeling
Mhm.
like I would like to fund more, and I know we said is the community clothing closet. Because if they are expanding to Sammamish, I think that would be a really good thing for low income people to actually have access to good clothes.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I know that clothing plays a huge impact even on self-esteem, ability to
Yeah.
get a job,
Yeah.
all of that.
so maybe they could come somewhere like
yeah,
Highland
if we fund
Gardens
them, they
or
might
like,
hopefully
yeah,
come to Sammamish.
yeah.
And I think that
Yes.
would
Yeah.
help people quite a bit.
Okay.
That would be great. I still think, I think it's worth revisiting. I don't, me personally, I don't know that I would get close to that 17, only because the amount of pop-ups for the first year that they're here, I would tend to question that. 15 pop-ups in one
Yeah.
year, it's not,
What they're promising is not something which is achievable.
it doesn't seem reasonable to me, especially if there were no.
That's community clothing
Yeah, I
closet.
wouldn't want to fund them the full 70, but I'm wondering if we can increase
So,
it,
okay, so
which
it's,
will incentivize them
Okay,
come to
got it.
Yes, now,
okay,
they're also requesting that salaries come into play, but they were founded, I believe, in
25.
2025.
Mm,
So
they're very
that was
recent.
where we kind of
Hmm.
said.
It's like do something and come back next time.
Right.
So that we're more confident in the
But
plan.
we kind of landed on that number as a
Minimum.
provide a proof of concept here.
Kind of seed money.
Yes.
Okay, starting
Up
with-
to
So-
5,000?
What do we have left?
And then if we do 5,000, we would have 5,357 left after that.
If we do 5,000.
And how many more are we revisiting?
None.
I think that was our.
That's it.
So if we take that
That's it
to,
from
if
basic
we
needs.
take community clothing takes it to 5,000, right? So then yeah, we would have, hold on, wait.
Did you do Archdiocese, the New Bethlehem?
2, 1,
Yeah,
4,
that I thought
that's
we said
in-
Brooklyn, right? We said we're not doing it.
Oh,
But it
okay.
was the only families. So
Plus.
if you have kids and you need to go there, you'll probably find a way to Kirkland. So it might still be worth it, right?
Then shall we put the rest of the money to that one then? If, I mean, how much do you have?
She's saying, she mentioned other stuff.
Okay, we have
We're still not talking.
2,857. We have 2,857 left.
Okay, tell us again what ones we.
So we have, so the first one is the Porchlight Enhanced Shelter. We are fully funding now to 7,140. Then we have the Sophia Way, Sophia's Place. We are increasing from 6,000 to 10,000. And then Community Clothing Closet, we are increasing from 2,500 to 5,000.
So now how much do we have left?
2857,
Yeah.
which is very
Let's just give it to
specific.
Bethlehem then.
Yeah. Bethlehem?
Okay, so 10,857.
Alright, then that's the one we.
Hold on, I'm gonna double check this.
They might wonder what the heck, why we.
Well, their ask of 12,800.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, okay. Makes sense now.
So we've got 2,857 left.
Okay,
So where would you like to do that?
that's the new Bethlehem program,
Okay.
800,
So
8,000.
it was 10
10,000 something.
to
2,857, so that's to New Bethlehem. Okay,
How
so
much is that total now?
that is going to be 2,857 plus 8,000.
10.
So it is going to be, 10,887.
57.
Yes, 857. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Wow. I'm impressed.
Kind of.
Yeah,
You're like, okay, you put a big number,
Wow.
you put a big number. and
You asked a
response.
crazy number.
I love it.
I do
That's
still,
crazy.
I still wish the essentials first, the resume and all that stuff was like, I don't remember if it was incomplete or what it was, but it was the one thing that was listed in saying, hey, we're gonna help you so you don't actually need the services anymore, in addition to clothing, of course,
Yeah.
but some way out of, maybe more.
Wow. That's amazing. Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
Well done. All right.
So move on. Now that we have finalized the recommendation.
And then I would also send out this recommendation. I'll amend the spreadsheet and I'll send that out to you all. Great work. Great work, Commission. That's fantastic. And we want to move on to staff reports.
Yes,
Jack?
please.
Okay. Not a whole lot to report because I've been off for a part of the since I last saw you guys. But we had the Pride Farmers Market on June 24th, and we had the Pacific Northwest Pride, Eastlake High School, Skyline High School, and the Sammamish Library, Sammamish YMCA, and the city all had tables, and it was very well attended, and it was a fantastic atmosphere, and they had a speech, and it was great. And then, no, not a whole lot. As I said, I've been off for a fair few days, so nothing dramatic on my end. So sorry for a very shallow report on my end.
Okay, moving on to commissioner reports. Anyone? Anything exciting to share?
We've been buried in that.
Yeah. Even so.
We finished the applications, so that's like our report, which is a great thing. Okay, moving on to next meeting agenda topics.
Okay.
That would be in September, right?
Yes, that'll be, so we will, the great thing is that we have a recommendation now, so then what we will propose in September is to really talk about how the commission, like, you know, what tends to happen is that the commission will write together an agenda bill, obviously staff will help, and then we'll discuss like how that's going to be presented to council, and then you'll present to council, I believe, in October. It sounds very intimidating, but please don't be intimidated. Staff are going to be there. And, you know, if there are any questions, like, you know, we don't expect you to know minutely, like, you know, staff will be there to assist and help. So
When is our meeting in September?
it is September, that it's the second Wednesday. Is it the 9th? Hold on, let me quickly look.
Yeah.
It's the 9th, yeah.
September 9th?
And
Yeah.
then, sorry, when are we presenting?
And that's
October.
going to be, it's TBD. I believe it's going to be in October. Sometime we've got to firm down a date, but it's in October, and it'll be on a Tuesday, and it'll be at a council meeting.
Are there questions as extensive as Sonia's? No, just kidding.
No, but you know what? It's great. I think it's really
Because I asked all the
fantastic.
questions, now
No,
they
it's
will not.
No, and so I think it's great because I think it's good because you know we can speak to it. But again, staff do not expect you to, like, you know, look, in past council like great, fantastic, move on, and then some councils will be like, well, what about this program, or why not this, and like. And so again, like,
So
you
many
know,
new members on the city council. We
Yeah,
don't know, like,
yeah.
how each one of them
But
is.
again, like, so we have no way of knowing, but again, like, you know, we have a process, commissioners have done their due diligence, and so we can really talk to that. And then if they get into specifics, I'm there, Mike's there, like, you know, we can also like talk to anything that they ask. So yeah, but fantastic work. Again, this has never ever, I couldn't believe this. This has never ever happened where we've gone under normally. And so hence we have very weird numbers because we had to reduce everything by 4.9%
Last time.
to get to our magic number. So so tremendous work. You know, yeah. Very, very impressed.
Yeah, that's great. And we got to revisit. I mean, that was nice.
That was good.
Yeah, for 4 extra.
We got to use up all the money before the other stuff was cut.
But no, but the basic needs had the most requests and was the largest number of applications. So fantastic.
Thank you for that, Rita. So adjournment.
Okay, and the time is, what's the time? I've got to make a note of it.
8:20.
8:20 again. Okay, great. Wow, that was impressive. Thank you.
Very good.